I'm going to read this horse shit to you. Initially, when I posed a question, Google provided me with a superficial Wikipedia search. So long as it lets me backtrack, I'll show you that when I'm done with this. And bear in mind, I don't want to read this. I really don't. All right. The Talmud, which serves as the central text of rabbinic law, contains complex historically situated discussions about slavery that distinguish between Jewish indentured servants and non-Jewish slaves, referred to as the, and I can't pronounce any of these, it says, or Canaanite slaves, which is also very fucking telling. It's something I've spoken about at length, and most people never watch those videos. Related to Seminar 2. Back to point. Based on the Talmudic text and its interpretations of Leviticus 25:44, I'm going to read that again. Based on its interpretations of Leviticus 25:44-46, the following points define the legal standing of non-Jews in this context. Distinction in status. The Torah and Talmud differentiate between Hebrew servants, who served for a maximum of 6 years and had extensive rights, and non-Hebrew slaves. Forever clause, quote-unquote forever clause, the Talmud interprets Leviticus 25:46. You shall work them forever. I'm going to read that again. You shall work them forever, as permitting the ownership of non-Jewish slaves by Jews indefinitely. I'm going to read that one more time. Quote-unquote forever clause. The Talmud interprets Leviticus 25:46, and this is in quotes. You shall work them forever, as permitting the ownership of non-Jewish slaves by Jews indefinitely. Yes, it's in writing, and it's based on an interpretation. Back to point. Method of acquisition. Non-Jewish slaves could be acquired by purchase or by, you pronounce it, taking possession through service. Let's read that one again too. Method of acquisition. Non-Jewish slaves could be acquired by purchase or by, it's similar to Hanukkah, but I'm sure it means something else, taking possession through service. Conversion and release. Talmudic law required Jewish owners to attempt to convert non-Jewish slaves to Judaism within 12 months. If they accepted, they became free, or were treated as Jewish servants. If they refused, they were supposed to be sold to non-Jews. Protection and limitations. While they could be held in perpetuity, the Talmud and subsequent legal codes like Maimonides, maybe that's how you say it, emphasized that such slaves were not to be treated as subhuman. They were to be fed properly, not treated with cruelty, and they could be automatically freed if the owner maimed them. Knocking out a tooth or an eye, for an example. Knocking out a tooth or an eye. Non-Jew ownership. The Talmud prohibits non-Jews from owning slaves, according to a strict interpretation of the biblical text. And that's something a lot of people, especially folks these days with a lot of melanin in their skin, should really take to fucking heart. Read the words on the screen and use your fucking brain. And also look up who owned the ships. For fuck's sake. Alright, contextual factors. No longer practiced. These laws applied in an era where slavery was a near universal economic, legal, and social institution. Modern rejection. In modern times, and with the rise of global, which is propaganda bullshit, legal prohibitions, I can't say it, you guys, I'm sorry, against slavery, I'm really bad at saying that word. These Talmudic laws regarding the acquisition of non-Jews as slaves are not and cannot be practiced. As far as we're aware, right? I mean, unless you were paying unconstitutional taxes, you were working 5 days a week, you were subject to a system of inflation based on debt, and you're a straw man based on something that's absolutely diametrically opposed to a free person, your straw man, your social security number is being traded on the fucking stock exchange, and you have no access to the goddamn, trust in your name? It sure stinks of slavery to me. Especially when it's a trap and you can never get out because there's a fucking forever clause. This is what we're born into, but, I must be wrong, right? In summary, the Talmud does allow for the permanent ownership of non-Jewish slaves acquired from surrounding nations. But it also attaches strict obligations for their care. In other words, you can drink beer on the weekend and things along those lines. Yeah? Keep you weak and stupid and docile. But what do I know? Requires them to be offered conversion and provides pathways for their freedom. Now I'm going to dance back, but before I do, I'm going to show you what I had to type in here just to get this to fucking answer the question. Does the Talmud state that anybody who is not a Jew could technically be enslaved, is what I initially asked. It didn't answer the question. It gave me that Wikipedia search, which I'll hopefully be able to show you. So instead, I had the right. Instead of providing a superficial Wikipedia search, how about you answer the question, Google's AI overview? And remember, or appreciate, AI overviews, DARPA, none of this shit would exist if you and I were surrounded by smart people. Case in point, you and I wouldn't be debt slaves working towards social credit slavery. All right, let's see if it works. Hey, surprise. So here's the initial result, which is limited and Wikipedia's dog shit. As it reads, the major change found in the Talmud slavery laws was that a single set of rules, with a few exceptions, governs both Jewish slaves and non-Jewish slaves. Significant effort is given in the Talmud to address the property rights of slaves. This is lacking, would you agree? This is also misleading, would you agree? This is superficial dog shit, would you agree? And this is what Google crapped out first. What the fuck do I know?